Two whole simonim tonight. Okay, simin kuf mem zayin. Minhage a chuppah, the minhagim of the chuppah. There's an interesting thing. They brought this in the art scroll because I don't have the Piskei Teshuvos on this. Doesn't go this far. He doesn't discuss the halachos of Seder Kedushin here at all. He discusses the chuppah, but that's about it. And it seems like different versions of the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. I don't know whether he took them out. It seems like it's unclear whether he took them out or he only added them later. Right? But he put it in a different sefer because why should he put halachas of being Masada Kedushin if this Kitzur Shulchan Aruch is for regular people, not for rabbis? Right, so it's an interesting thing, but some kitzurs do have some things. I don't know. Anyways, so minhag chuppah vayhei sifim. So noyegen lasis a chuppah tachas shemayim l'simen bracha. The minig is to make a chuppah under shemayim, under the sky, as a simen bracha kayi as arach k'chaychi shemayim, so that your kids should be like the stars. V'chein noyegen shein noisen nashim el v'miloy elavana, and we also don't marry women unless the moon is full, l'simen tov or simen tov. Now, there's different opinions. Some say up until Yud Ches of the month, the 18th of the month, because that's when the moon really starts getting small, or the 22nd. But it's really, the Litvish for the most part are not makbid on this. Also, not everybody's makbid that it should be outside. Then you do the skylight thing, etc. Fine. Base. Kosher adavar shalotinos titar. It's a kosher thing to do to make sure that she's tahar and she's not a chupas nida. V'achshav minig shaloy ledaktik. The minig is not to be medaktik, which is interesting because nowadays it's almost never chupas nida because of the pills that the kalas go on to make sure that they're clean. In the old days, it was like a 50-50 chance. We call makam. If she's a nida, it's good to tell the chassan that before the chuppah. See, this we don't do either. That the chashuvim come do the badek. And I have a vague memory of that from when I was a kid, that people doing that, meaning it wasn't the chassan that put it on. And then they bench her, that our sister should come to thousands, right? Now, the nafkamina with whether other people put on the veil on the kala or the chassan does it, was because some say that it's actually chuppah. So if you hold that the chassan does it, if you hold that it is chuppah, then the chassan has to do it because she's like sort of coming under his chuppah, even though that chuppah is coming before the kedushin. So how that works is also unclear. But that would be the nafkamina. The chuppah, what's chuppah? Karan masha achar kach parson yiri al gabi klunsais. That's after you've spread the urea on top of the poles. The what do you call urea? They call the chuppah canopy, right? The canopy. Machnisin tachtea chasam v'kala barabim, and you bring the chasam and kala under this canopy barabim makad shasham, and that's where he does the kedushin. Like we said, he doesn't discuss anything about the ring, Hariyat Mekudesh, nothing. He's just the Kitzur totally skips that part. And he says you make Birchas Erisin and Nisuin. Erisin is what the Masada Gedushin says, and the Nisuin is what the 7 brachas that come after that. Now, what's interesting, and many people are not aware of this, is that the same way the Kedushin is one person makes both brachas, really the Eris, the Nesuin, which is all the 7 brachas, should be done by one person. Right? Some split the last bracha. But now that we split each bracha and give it to different people is really not correct. And there's Igros Moshe that says that you should really keep them all together. But if you have a good reason, so you split it. So the minig nowadays is to split it, but it's really not simple at all. And since these brachas are being made on behalf of the chassan and kala have to know. And unfortunately, you notice a lot of them don't know this. They're not allowed to talk. since the Bar Priya Gofen is being made on their behalf, they cannot talk. Just like when you make a bracha, like by Kiddush. And everybody knows after Kiddush you don't talk until you drink the wine. So the same thing by the wedding, but okay, whatever. If you know a chassan and kali,
Which brachas aren't you supposed to split?
none of them.
All 7?
Correct.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's what I tell you. It's a weird thing.
And I know that the first 2. They sometimes
Some
keep
say you
together.
should do the first 2. Some say the first 5 should be together, and the first 5 with the Bar Priya Gofen, and then the 7th. Different things, but one thing's for sure: what we do is I'm not correct. The ikar chuppah is the yichud that comes later. She's baram yetz Hashem b'simin shachazeh. Fine. Dalar hasheshvinim. So sheshvinim are like the best men, the best, right? The best. How do you call it? Groomsmen, brides, whatever. So malbishim es chasen, but bekittel they put the chasen on the kittel k'dei sheyizkar yom hamisa, so that the chasen will remember the day of death. V'yisar b'tshuva and halav tshuva gam noyagin lases efer b'reisha chasen b'makam menachas tefillin. It's also the minhag to put ashes on the head of the chasen where he puts his tefillin. Gam noyagin she'avos v'akroivim anshe tzura mevarchen es chasen. And then the minhag is that the fathers and relatives and people that have a form, meaning chashuvim, give a bracha to the chassan and the kalam spalan olim shezivugam yala yafa, and you daven for them that their zivug should be yala yafa. So you see here that there is this concept of davening, but the davening is supposed to be on behalf of the chassan and the kala. It doesn't say anything about Eis Ratzon. Not that I'm saying it's Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, but it doesn't say anything here about it being an Eis Ratzon for everybody else to daven for whatever it is. And now you have a new thing in style that after the chuppah is over, people jump under the chuppah and daven under the chuppah, even though the chuppah is long over. I don't know exactly what the source is for that. Hey, after that they bring the chassan to the chuppah. This is another thing that we don't do. Right, everybody. Malichin means we bring the chassan, meaning everybody walks with the chassan to the chuppah. This is the way the chassidim do it. This is the way they do it in Eretz Yisrael. Shaparsan yiri al gabi kluntzai shano karan chuppah, that we already said, that they spread out the canopy on top of the poles. And mamidin oisei panav lemizrach, and we have the chassan facing east. Vashliach tzibur menagin bekiminag hamakam. The shliach tzibur sings whatever the minig is of the place. V'shashvinas melichas is a kala, and then the women bring the kala. V'shashvinim v'anashim chashuvim holchim lekrosa, and everybody goes out to call her. And when they come close to her, then they go back to the chuppah. V'shashvinas mavias es a kala u'mesavim ima, and then they bring her. Meaning, this is where the minig is that the chassan and whoever walked the chassan down, who's under the chuppah with the chassan, should take a couple steps up towards the kala. The Sfardim go halfway down the aisle. Then they go around her 7 times. V'ashliach tzibur menagin gamkein kefi haminig, and then the shliach tzibur also sings again. Achakach ma'avidin es hakala limin hachassan. Then we put the chassan. You put the kala to the right of the chassan, and the reason for that is because that's to tell the chassan that she's always right. That's my own vart. Just thought of that. Yeah, but that's a way if anybody's ever Mitzad Gedushin to remember. The kala goes to the right of the chassan. From Mavarech mitzaded es atzmai upanav lemizrach, and the Mavarech is mitzaded himself and towards the east. Okay, Siman Kuf Mem Ches is Yichud Shachar Kedushin Ubay Dalat Sifim. So Ikar Chuppah hi masha achar kedushin. The Ikar Chuppah is after kedushin. Ma'lichin es achazim akal lecheder meyuchid. They go into their own room. Va'oichlin sham yachar b'makam tznua, and they eat there in a makam tznua, in a hidden place. V'yesh lim noya shaloi likonesh l'sham shum adam k'di yeshiyah yichud gomer. And they should stop themselves, meaning they have to stop anybody from going in there, so that it should be legitimate. Yichud zewa chuppah koine va'oisa nesuin, and that is the chuppah that he acquires her.
Why do they have to eat in a hidden place?
They don't have to eat. They don't have to eat. The assumption is just that they fasted. So since they fasted, so they're not mechuyev to eat. By Sfardim, they don't do yichud till after the chasana. Sfardim are not as makbid on the yichud. As some in the briskers hold that the guy, to make sure the chassan actually is kind of the room, that he owns it. because it has to be his room. He's bringing her into his house. Yeah, so it's funny because in the sands, we Masada Kedushin over there, and the guy lady, she don't know anything. She says, "Oh, Rabbi, okay, so how long do you say they got to be in there for?" Right? Right? They don't, they're like all confused. These different rabbis have different time measurements of what the yichud is. Right? The yichud length of time, he doesn't discuss it. It has to be long enough that they could actually have relations. So there's different measurements: 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 7 minutes. Fine. Beis bebesula kani yichud ze afal gav de ene roy labia. By a besula, you're kind of with the yichud, even if it's like we said in the previous simon, in case it's a chupas nida, so they're not allowed to have yichud, but still it works. Kagan shehi nida shepnei adam nechnasam yasim sham. Let's say it's open to the public, or she's a nida. Because she nida bal karcho tzrichet shehi bnei adam nechnasam yasim sham. And if she is a nida, either way, you have to have people coming and going. They're not allowed to have yichud before the first bia because we don't trust them. That's the biggest headache of a chupas nida, is that the couple cannot live alone. We only trust them once they've been together. Fine. Gimel al ba'amana ain't kana eli yichud aroy labia, but by a widow or a grusha, the only yichud that works, it has to be roy labia. So you cannot have a chupas nida by an almana and a grusha. Da'inu shita hayra ve'en adam nichnas l'sham. So you need to have those qualifications. Dalet, Einos and Kinyan b'Shabbos, we're not allowed to purchase something on Shabbos, meaning the same way you can't purchase anything from a store on Shabbos, you also can't purchase a wife on Shabbos. I don't know if you should say that to your wife or whatever, to anybody. You should say that to the women. If you get married on Erev Shabbos, which many people did back then because they didn't have the money for a Seudah, so they would mix it together with the Friday night Seudah. The yichud needs to be before Shabbos, right? Meaning this really applies to an almana and a grusha. When they do yichud from ba'idiyam with the love be a rishayna b'Shabbos, then they can be together. The first be on Shabbos, bein besula, bein be'almana, whether it's a besula or an almana. But if they did not do the yichud, which acquires her during the day, also love Shabbos be a rishayna, he is not allowed to be with her to be a rishayna. Shum da bia isa kinyan, because the bia is what makes the kinyan. Ve'in kind of b'Shabbos, and we don't do kinyanim on Shabbos. Din be'ilas besula, that's ayin lekaman siman kufnun zayin. Well, what the story is with that. Okay. Everybody should have a fine night. Should be matzliach.